life in general. So truck drivers are quitting. And that is really concerning because truck drivers are the ones that pretty much get like food, goods, anything that you could probably think of, like cargo, cars, electronics across this great country, right? And they're quitting. And I got a few different perspectives. Check out these videos and I'll come back with my commentary.
We've got this new development, and it's a dangerous one. There's a growing number of truck drivers now quitting because soaring gas prices are wiping out their paychecks.
All right, guys, we're gonna quit today. We're gonna go turn in the truck, turn in that trailer. I'll hold the review after and talk about the cons and the pros about working here, the pay. I'll talk about all of it. All right, guys, we just got here. I'm gonna turn this key, turn the fuel card. What's up, Rick? Here's the key to the truck and the fuel card.
That one.
Alright.
Everything else is in there?
Yeah, the equipment's all there. The insurance and everything's good. Everything's good there.
You got it right and everything?
Yeah, my parents are here.
Oh, I don't think so.
Yes, sir.
Guess what, y'all? I finally quit. I just cleaned out the truck. All of my stuff is gone. No, I did not give a 2 weeks notice. They would never gave me one if I was getting fired. I got orientation next week with Martin Transport. So yeah, I'm about to do a walk around the truck, take pictures of the truck. I'm leaving the truck at a drop yard. Hopefully they don't try to say, oh, you gotta leave it at a terminal, because I really ain't got time for all that. But I am gonna do my due diligence, ask them, you know, where y'all want me to leave the tablet, where y'all want me to leave the keys. Is this all right with y'all if I leave it at the drop yard? Yeah, that's it. I worked with Snyder for 7 months. It was my first truck driver job out of CDL school. They started me off at, what, like 39 cents a mile, y'all. I got 2 raises since then. I got my 6 months raise, and I got, like, for hitting, like, mileage goals and stuff like that, every raise was only 2 cents. So, really, you ain't getting no raise. The pay is absolutely trash. I will say that it's not a bad company, you know. It just wasn't for me. Now I'll be going to orientation for Martin next week. Hopefully I get the job. If not, I really don't care. I'm still quitting this job. OTR is just not for me. This new account I'm going to be on is dedicated. It's out bi-weekly. It's reefers, mostly drop and hook. They paying 60 cents a mile, and they also have a, I guess, buffer, you could say, or a minimum pay for this job. The minimum pay is $1,200 a week. So regardless of what kind of miles you get or what happened the week before, or you always gonna get $1,200. They got a minimum pay. Their hiring bonus is $400, but you would have to, after orientation, how they do it is, orientation is like 2.5 to 3 days. You get your truck on the 3rd day, you gotta immediately go out on the road. If you don't go out on the road on your 3rd day, you don't get the hiring bonus. So yeah, today is Friday. I'm quitting today for Snyder. I just got off the road, parked my truck yesterday, came and cleaned it out this morning. I'm quitting today, and hopefully I have a job by next Wednesday. All right, y'all.
My last day working here, and I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I ain't finna deliver a fucking thing. It's time to get the story down to pat. And y'all tell me if I'm wrong, or you know what I'm saying, or I shouldn't did this or nothing. So I got a new job. I did everything. For the longest I was saying, like, I'm gonna get a 2 week notice. She doing good, you know what I'm saying? We was getting along, so I'm gonna give him a 2 week notice. All right, cool. So I got hired at this job, took the job, put my 2 weeks in, and after I put my 2 weeks in, I got this. Boom. Y'all see that right up, right? I got it right up because 2 days after that snowstorm, I went to work, and they was like, I'm like, why is we working? Y'all know the roads ain't clear. Woo, woo, woo. So my first stop, I got stuck on, so I had to get the tow. So I turned my 2 weeks in. A couple days later, I get it right up. They took $150 from me for a tow. So I'm like, damn, y'all take this $150 from me? Like, damn, like, I make $170 a day. They took $150, so I only made $20 a day. But I didn't even get that 20 because Uncle Sam won't hit me. So who did it? Like, I'm like, to all the managers, because y'all gonna see this. Y'all gonna see this. I'm sorry I had to do y'all like this, because he not even working today, and I'm hurt. Then I gotta put the all the managers there. But hey, over. I gotta get you back. Like, all my life, like, I tried to calm down since age I don't want over. But now I gotta get you back, and then and then it's like, now I'm gonna get the upper hand. Y'all gonna be like, you ain't paid for that, man. I don't get. They took what I needed, huh?
Truck drivers aren't quitting because they hate trucking. They're quitting because the money just doesn't make sense anymore. Imagine driving for hours, barely sleeping, eating at truck stops, only to watch fuel, repairs, insurance, and fees eat up most of the paycheck. Some drivers say they're working harder than ever, but taking home less than before. And while America depends on truck drivers every single day, more of them are quietly walking away. Is trucking still worth it in 2026?
If you're a truck driver, here are 7 reasons why I know that it's time for me to move on from being a truck driver. And some of them may shock you. All right, number 1, you're overworked. Working 60 plus hours a week. You're underpaid. You're not making enough money like you used to make. And there's no room for growth. There's a lot of broken promises. The broken promises that I'm referring to is telling you that they're going to give you a raise, but next thing you know, they turn around and buy 8 new trucks. You're away from home, missing out on important events, memories that you'll never be able to replace, living through pictures that other people took. You're over the road grossing $1,500. You're local grossing $1,500. It's crazy work. And the layoff potential is 50-50. These are uncertain times. If companies don't turn a profit in months, they potentially face shutting down.
Truckers, I don't know if y'all know this, but a lot of truckers been quitting. A lot of my trucker friends been quitting. I can't even blame them. Because not everybody wants to stay in this trucking industry for years and years. Some of us is just using it to come up. Like, the fuck? And let's be for real. Yeah, trucking is a lifestyle, but who wants to live their lifestyle on the road? Bitch, I'd rather be home.
What's going on, other drivers? Today I want to talk to you about the reasons why people are quitting the trucking industry. I always bring you the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I did some research and I found out the reasons why truck drivers are leaving. So let's get into it. One of the reasons, number 1 reason, I don't know if we're going to these, not in any order. They got 10 reasons here. Some of them are a bit greater than the other, but let's just go over them. Number 1, or the first reason I have here that people are leaving, is they feel like they're not getting enough training. See, drivers come right out of CDL school, and they go to work for these companies. They go work for these big major carriers, and they get in there and they run them like teams. They get it done with them. They throw them out there, and drivers are coming up on situations where they feel like they're afraid. And rightly so. They're in an icy storm situation, and they didn't figure out, they wasn't trained. CDL school taught them how to get their CDLs, but they didn't teach them how to actually be a truck driver. So when they go to these major carriers, they throw them out there, they feel like they don't know what they're doing, so they quit because they don't want to work for an unsafe job. And I don't blame them for that. Another reason is the trucking lifestyle. Not everybody is made to be a trucker. You may want a job and you may have great work ethics and you may get out here on the road and you quit trucking not because you're a bad worker, not because you can't work hard, because trucking ain't just right for you. Okay? It has a lifestyle. We're out here on the road all the time. You gotta like driving, for one thing. If you don't like driving, you're not going to be out here. Another thing is you're going to have a good relationship at home. If you get out here and your relationship is shitty at home and you worry about what your old lady's tripping on you, whatever the case may be, trucking ain't going to be the right job for you. So you're going to end up quitting. That's another reason that people leave. Another reason, let's go with the third reason people leave, is changes. In the truck industry, there's changes all the time. You know, CR England, what they just come out with, where they said a while back, a few years ago, that they tell all their drivers that they got to work team. A lot of drivers don't want to run teams. Or when the ELDs come out, the old head said, I ain't doing ELDs, I'm used to my old logs, so they quit. Trucking is always evolving. There's always new rules coming out, new regulations, and some people just don't like changes. That's another reason they're leaving the trucking industry. Number 4, they just get bored. People get bored. They get out here. They're out here for a while, and they want to get the 9 to 5. You know, they're bored out here driving on the road. I'm never bored out here. Something always different. But I like truck driving. You might not like truck driving. You might get bored out here, being there by yourself. You're out here long hours with hardly anybody, unless you're training somebody, or unless your loved one gets to ride with you here for once in a while. You're going to spend hours by yourself. So it doesn't make you a bad worker, but that's the reason people leave, is because they get lonely out here. They get tired of being alone out here on the lawn, and they just go crazy. That's one. Another reason that truck drivers quit is because of bad equipment. Bad equipment. They get to work for a company and they got shitty ass trailers. Tires are blowing all the time. Trucks breaking down their own side of the road constantly, and they feel like their company should do them better, and they should. But fortunately, in this trucking industry, you're gonna have companies that don't really care. They just it's about the money. They just push you and push you and push you. Oh yeah, we'll have the shop look at that. Yeah, shop looked at it, said it's fine. Just go on about your business. You're the one getting broke down, and you're getting paid by the mile. You're broke down all the time. It sucks. So you gotta be careful about what companies you go for.
So this is why drivers are quitting right now, and ain't nobody saying it. Low rates, high fuel, sitting at the docks not getting paid, dispatch playing games, working more, making less. Now a lot of seasoned truckers will tell you that's just trucking. You gotta tough it out. But see, a lot of these new drivers see it as we getting played. Now, though that may be true to a certain degree, but I feel like a lot of y'all new drivers don't have patience with yourselves, you feel me? You don't give this industry enough time. You don't give yourself enough time to figure it out. You done probably heard somebody saying it's like a get-rich-quick scheme when really that ain't what it is. And then like many of us probably know, a lot of people just get in for them little 1, 2, 3 paychecks to cover their little debt or whatever they, you know what I'm saying? Then they get back out of there. So yeah, keep telling people to join.
If you guys are leaving a trucking company, they will have in their policy, put a 2-week notice in before you leave. Don't do that. You'll be in my position if you do.
He goes on to say that he abandoned his truck, right? Because the company he was working for kept playing with him. They kept routing him further and further away from his home because he had to get home and, you know, like he said, handle his emergencies or whatever. So he was about 700 miles away from his house, called his family, dropped the truck off at a truck stop, told the company, hey, come get your shit. Now, unfortunately, he said he didn't give a fuck, but unfortunately, a truck abandonment is going to go on his trucking record. When you get your CDL, you no longer have just one driving record. You have 2. You have one for your personal vehicle, one for your trucking experience or your trucking career. Do not sit here and believe that you have to give a 2-week notice to a trucking company, especially if they play with you. I'm just telling you right now, and I'm also telling you from experience. My first trucking job, I gave them a notice. I gave them like a week, 2-week notice, or something like that. I was in Kentucky when they get it. When I gave it to them, they routed me from Kentucky to Illinois to Indiana, Indiana to Minnesota, Minnesota to Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania to South Carolina to clean up my truck, right? And then I had my girlfriend follow me from South Carolina to Georgia to drop off the truck, and I just quit full stop. The whole thing took about maybe 8 days. And they were asking me, oh, you sure you want to do this? You sure? Yes, I'm sure I want to do that. I don't want to drive over the road no more. I'm tired of being gone for weeks at a time and only getting paid $700, $600, $800 a week. Tired of that. My second trucking job, I didn't even give notice because that guy was playing with me every way he could find. And I'm like, bro, I'm a grown man. I'm tired of this bull. And for context, I live in Charleston, South Carolina. I had to drive to and from Savannah, Georgia every day. That's 4 hours on my schedule, no matter what to do. Because this job in particular, I was only supposed to be moving trailers from one side of Savannah to the other side of Savannah. Maybe had to go maybe an hour out, come back in, nothing like that. But this guy was both around. Me and my homeboy, he was taking us all over the place, tried to get us to be some half over the road drivers. You don't pay us for that. Never do something you're not getting paid for.
This is the real reason why so many truck drivers are quitting in their first year. And I guarantee you, nobody's told you what I'm about to tell you, so stay tuned, especially to the end, because you don't want to miss the last one. Number one, they're so dreams about fast money. So everybody's out here like, oh, you can make all this money, da-da-da-da. Oh, I made this much in this week, or I made this much in this week, da-da-da. And you're back in there, and you hear them, and you're like, oh, I want to go do that. I can do that. But they don't really tell you, number one, how they have to do that and exactly what it takes and the amount of work ethic and the amount of grind that it takes to do that. And two, a lot of times the people that are telling you that they're making all this money, either they're not making all that money and they're just lying to you to try to facade, or they're just telling you, number one, how much money they make gross, because gross is completely different than what you're actually taking home. Number three is I almost forgot it, but number three is basically they've been in the industry for longer than you. So they have more experience, they have the qualifications to get those jobs that will pay them that money, versus you being a first year driver. You're not going to get that because you don't have the experience, you don't have the certifications, and you don't have the qualifications. You don't meet the qualifications for the work assignment, and that's okay. You can build up to that. But a lot of people are like, oh, it's like a hope. There's a scripture in the Bible that talks about hope being deferred. So you can come into the industry and you could want to do all of these things, and because it's not happening for you immediately, you kind of are like, man, it just don't even make no sense. I just kind of give up. But you can do it too. You just got to wait your time. Like, everybody has to do their time. Everybody has to. There are literally some jobs that won't touch you until you have a certain amount of experience. That's just what it is. Number two, bad training and bad dispatch. Okay, first of all, we got to just break this one all the way down, because I had bad training. I haven't had the issue with bad dispatch. God bless me with great and amazing dispatchers. I love them so much. They're amazing. But my training experience, y'all, oh my gosh, I talk about this all the time. It was just not that great. It was not that pleasant. It was very eventful in not really good ways. It's only by God's grace that I'm here today, okay? It's only by God's grace that I'm here. But just knowing like what I experienced in training and the horror stories I hear that other people have experienced during training, it lets me know that we have a problem in this industry with getting qualified, proper trainers who actually train because they love what they do versus just training for the money. Me personally, a lot of you guys ask why I don't train anymore. Number one, I do love teaching. I love training. I love doing all of those things. And I take care of all of my students. All of my students now, baby, they're prospering. They're in good health and they're so prosperous. Okay. I've created worksheets. I did all of these things. I took the time for backing and all of these things. So that way, when my trainees got off of my truck, they were ready for success and they were just ready to hit the ground going. Every trainee is not going to do that. And so a lot of the trainees who don't have that experience, who get into it with their trainers and just have really unpleasant experiences, they're like, bro, I'm not even going to be bothered with this. And so they end up leaving the industry prematurely. But I just thank God, because I just want this to be an encouragement to somebody. Like, don't let a bad trainer like detour you from your destiny. Don't let that bad experience detour you from the purpose that God has called for you. Because if I would have just given up, and if I would have just been like, man, y'all got this, like, I'm not gonna do this, I wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't be like with you guys today. Like, I wouldn't know you guys wouldn't know me, and it would have been a whole different experience, you know? So just continue to stay in it and don't give up.
Okay, there you have it. So yeah, so it's pretty eye-opening. So everybody has their reasons for quitting a job. You know, it may be stress, it could be health reasons, it could be, a big deciding factor for people quitting jobs or going to another field of work or company is the money. And I think with trucking, I had a good friend of mine, he spent a lot of hours alone on the road by himself. He said it can be kind of lonely. It can be mentally taxing. It could be physically taxing, because you're not as active. You're probably moving your upper body, but you're not actually like moving around. You're sitting down for hours on end, going to point A to point B. And ultimately, in some instances, depending on the trucking company, there are some shady trucking companies out there, and they don't do a lot of the drivers' rights. And there's so many different things on like why like truckers are quitting. Like, leave a comment down below if you're a trucker and you've seen this video, and now tell me some of your experiences out there on the road and all the various different trucking companies that you work for and some of the pros and cons. I'd like to hear your insight. All right, y'all, I really appreciate y'all listening to what I got to say, and I hope to catch y'all guys on the next one. Peace.